bought iPads with our grant, and our goal, our essential question, I know. The essential question was, could we show measurable growth using iPads and iPad apps in the area of math components and things like that? And that was kind of our essential question. Let me just run through here real quick. What am I doing wrong, sweet child? Okay. You're fine, sweetie. The essential question was, like I said, will students' knowledge of math concepts increase in the area of counting, number recognition, problem solving, reasoning, measurement, using iPad apps, and project-based learning? So what we did was we actually used our iPads daily. Can you hear me? I'm sorry. I forgot about this mic. We used our iPads daily, and we took the knowledge that we gained from that, and we created a project, and you're going to see that as we move along here, what we made, okay? This was the beginning. This is my project summary. This is the children exploring the iPad, starting the creative knowledge, using what they're gaining, and working together. Here they're exploring Sid's workshop. It's really good about teaching measurement and some of the skills they're going to need when we start our little project. So that's coming up. Okay. This is their iPad app. They're learning math concepts. We're very casual about it. We hand out the iPads. They can just explore on the floor anywhere they want to. They can work in groups. And that's just, let's move on. Okay. Students were pre-assessed. Back in September, we started our pre-assessment, I'll use this, sorry. We started our pre-assessment in areas of reasoning, problem solving, measuring, counting, whole and small group responses, and formative assessments. Skills acquired were used to complete a class project, and the project was to create a machine to move objects from one place to another. It was our version of a crane. And here we are measuring for a crane roof. So they found out that it was just a little too small. So we went back to little reasoning. You can see my little one reasoning here. We're still under the STEM, grant, more or less. So what we do is we continue with working on problem solving in other areas. And what you see here is the little boy is trying to create a way for this marble to stay on the ramp all the way down. And that was quite a challenge. So that was part of the problem solving. Here they're doing their little iPad apps and learning, and growing there. So. At one point, we had to actually call the Belfry Robotics team, and they come in to help us with our crane. And you can see it starting to develop. It's just a little box with some pulley system. But they come in and they started helping us with the pulley system, and that kind of put us over the top a little bit doing our project-based learning. Okay. Back in September, our pre-assessment measures were conducted to determine students' readiness and math skills. The assessment determined that 80% of my class was at or slightly above a novice level, so we saw the need there. I used assessment data to form the essential question, which we've talked about, and skills acquired were used to complete a class project, which is, we've already showed you that. Students measured problem solved, used reasoning skills, and they kind of had to use Sid's workshop. Are you familiar with that at all? It's really an excellent program on the iPad app. They seem to just suck that up. They love that. So, just in a summary, and we'll go over a few more things in just a minute. I'm not quite ready to wrap it up. But as a summary, I just kind of noted that it takes, a lot of components to increase students' knowledge. But we have found that using the iPad programs, the iPad apps, that their interest level increased. And we noted that when they were doing the project-based learning and they were having to take what they learned and apply it to create a product, that by keeping them engaged in the learning, that they did indeed show measurable growth. in all these components. And there's our finished product. What you do on the inside here is you pull one string and it pulls the arm up, and then there's another that makes the elbow go back and forth using a pulley system. And they really loved it. It was big, bulky, and it took over the whole classroom, but we really enjoyed this. And I did see them using every skill in the math components. I saw them using reasoning, problem solving, measuring, counting, and they had to go back and rethink, and it was just an awesome project. Oh, okay, that's all right. And I don't know, has anyone done the project-based learning? Is that something you're familiar with? Just a synopsis of that. You start out with an idea and you assess them to see where they're at. What you'll do at the beginning is you'll have them draw or reflect on, your project, and then about midway through you'll have them do it again. And we created a little class book. Let's get rid of this for a minute. Okay. And just to see if they understood what it was we were doing. So a lot of the children did, show that they knew what a crane looked like. We explored it on the internet. We looked at pictures of the crane. We discussed it. We had a crane out back last year, so we had pictures of that when we were doing construction. And so a lot of the children did show understanding, midway through the year that they knew what they were working for. They understood the concept of a crane. And during the project-based learning, we do it every day in centers. We had a lot of interesting questions. The children would respond. You would say, they would say things like, well, maybe we need to put a chair in there so we can sit on it, or it needs a roof, and what can we use for the roof? And one little boy took my coffee can. I kind of drink a lot of coffee. He took one of my plastic cans and put it on the top, and he called it a motor. And he said, I put the motor on top. That's creative thinking, isn't it? So he thought that was really clever. See how long I've got. Oh, 3 minutes. That's unusual for me at all. So this is basically, sum it up. I'll give you a few of the questions that they had answered. Okay. Oh, one of them said this can be the arm. He found a pole, and he said this can be the arm or the elbow. And one little boy said we should make it, look like a cross. At one point, the top was falling over, so we had to decide how we're going to set that up right. So we really felt that the children were doing a lot of reasoning, a lot of thinking. We felt like the whole project come together toward that end. One of them said we should use glue, and then that was their thought. We'll make it stand up with glue, and I was thinking, oh, no glue, but, I let them try it. Another said we should pull, put a string tied around it, and so we did that, and that seemed to work. The duct tape doesn't fix everything, no matter what you've heard. It really doesn't. And one of them said we need wheels on it, because he had looked and he saw the wheels. So there were different comments and questions that the children had. I can't believe I'm not running over. That's amazing for me. Some of them wanted to draw a window and draw a door, and of course we had to cut all that out. And basically that's it. Am I fired? If I can put this on.